about the dollar. Not about the dollar. I know we can do better. We can do better. 'Cause you ain't just another. You were born to elevate. It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from losses to profit. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. I know you know that we can do better. I think it's not a hopeless endeavor. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. Serenity is made with contact. Serenity is made with contact. It's not about the dollars. I know we can do better. 'Cause you ain't just another. Serenity is made with contact. Seems we got stuck in a daydream. Going blind is following the routine. What if we just stop for a minute and breathe? Why we're all struggling upstream and fighting for a get-rich-quick scheme? What if we forget about the wants and our needs? What have we become? You roll, you go down. It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from losses to profit. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. I know you know that we can do better. I think it's not a hopeless endeavor. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. No, I'm not the only one getting tired. Stuck in an emotional landslide. What if we just stop for a minute and think? What have we become? It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from losses to profit.
The secret of getting ahead is getting started. And here you are. Check that box. You've done that. You are on the road to success. I am Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is your practice. This is where you, bottom of the screen says, do what is right for your body. Always do what's right for your body. You don't want to hurt. You don't want anything to hurt. If what we're doing hurts, don't do it. Back out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Don't do it at all. Modify. Breathe, and just don't hurt. That's the big thing. Don't hurt your one and only wonderful body. Take it easy. Just do what you can with what you got. This is a 1 hour long practice. You think, oh my gosh, an hour is a long time. It is, but if you stick around, it goes by like that. It's really nice. If you can only stick around for 10 minutes, that's fine too. Don't judge yourself. Don't sweat it. You got it. You can, even if you just make it through the little warm-up, the first 10 minutes, you are golden. You really are. Believe it. Give yourself a pat on the back for doing your yoga, for just showing up. Today, we emphasize strength, and no, we don't. Well, strength, yeah, that comes in because we're going to do a plank, but we're emphasizing mobility and flexibility. Tomorrow, we emphasize strength. So every day is different. All of our practices are different. It's live start to finish 1 hour, so you get all the mistakes too. But you just do it. Just show up. Do the practice. Do what you can. Modify to make every practice work for you, because you can do every practice. Just ease off the pressure. Be kind. And remember, a little bit is better than doing nothing at all, because all those little bits certainly do add up. Okay, the word to think about today is optimism. What a great way to start the day. Optimism means you look at things in a more favorable light. You look at the favorable side of conditions and expect the most favorable outcome. Expect that this is going to do good things for you, and it really does, for your mind, your body, your soul. All good stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. You're pepped up, right? You're ready to do this. All right, the props you're going to need today: eye shade and a little hand towel. If you don't have those, you got a hand towel around. Grab that. Couple of yoga blocks, full-size blocks, half-size blocks, whatever you got. The blocks, inexpensive, buy some. They're wonderful. A yoga strap, use a belt, use a dog leash, whatever you can find. And if you don't have it, that's fine too. Modify. Just get these things though and add them to your yoga tool chest so you can continue to have fun with us and get better, stronger, faster, more mobile, more flexible. Water, you're going to want that. Come on up to standing. Okay, so you got all your props. Something to think about as you come on up to standing. Your stress number, lock it in your head. What's going on in your body? What's going on in your head? A stress number, smiley face to frowny face. Give it a number, rate it. A stress number today, oh, I'm a 7 on the scale. I'm pushing 10. I'm really stressed out, right? So think about that. Remember that number, and let's start our practice, because you will notice at the end of the practice, the number really comes down. All right, stand up. All right, you got this. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Send them back. Just roll them back. Maybe take it quickly. Roll them back. Take big breaths in through your nose. And big sighing breaths out through your mouth. Shrug your shoulders back, back, back. They come up towards your ears, back toward the back wall, and then they come down. Shrug them back and forth. Roll them back and forth. All right, now roll them forward. This feels a little more awkward. Roll them forward, forward, forward. Roll them. You got it. Hands on your hips now. Let's come up onto our toes as we do shoulder shrugs. You come up onto the balls of your feet, shrug your shoulders up to your ears, and then come on back down to your feet. Shrug them up on the toes, bring them on down onto your feet. Lift and lower, come on up and down. You know, you can always have a chair nearby too. You could have one hand on the chair as you shrug your shoulders. Just get in the game. You gotta play to win, right? Up and down. And you know, you got this. You can do this. You can do this. And you don't have to wait a single moment longer before you start improving yourself. And hey, here you are. You're doing it. Right now, you're strengthening your ankles. You're strengthening your feet, shrugging the shoulders up and down, getting that movement going. All right, let's come on down to our feet. Hands are still on your hips. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Shoulders over your hips. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Rock your weight a little more back into your heels and lift your toes up and give them a wiggle. You got good balance here. You can do it with a chair or without. Place your feet nice and solidly on the ground. Let's do a cross body reach. Act as if you're picking apples to the opposite side of your body. Lift out of the hip on the side of the arm that's extending. Maybe lift up onto the ball of the foot on that side. Stretch and reach. Take these nice, deep cross body movements. All right, so cross body movements are good for your brain. Yes, they are. Reach. You're taking a big side stretch here. Reach. Come up onto that foot. Breathe. Breathe. Reach for an apple that's just a little too far out of reach. All right, as I said, this is good for your brain. Cross body movements. We're going to do a lot of them today. Keep reaching. I've also posted an article about the importance of cross-body reaching, what it does to your brain, how it keeps it wired, how it helps prevent depression, and so many other things. The article is in our group, a private group on Facebook. Take the stretch a little deeper. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. Ask to be admitted, and I'll let you in. Cross-body movements. Breathe. Big breaths in and big breaths out. All right, let's finish up. You're just warming up here. Come on back to standing, shoulders over hips. Take your hands behind your low back, fingers pointing down, or if you want more of a challenge, have the fingers going up. Press the palms into your low back, elbows hug towards your spine. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Push your hips more forward. Perhaps look up directly overhead. Breathe. Think of your chest lifting up to the sky more so than you think of reaching toward the back of the room. Keep your hips pressed forward. Exhale, shoulders over your hips. Exhale, fold forward now. As you fold forward, let your arms hang heavily toward the earth. Perhaps you're looking at your toes. Maybe look to your ankles or your knees or up toward your belly button. Adjust your feet, your stance, so you're comfortable. Put a little bend in your knees. Decompress your spine. Shake your head, left and right, right and left. Take your arms, fly them out to the side, tee them out, and then bring them up behind your back. Maybe you can't quite reach. That's okay. Maybe your hands meet. You interlace your fingers and send your palms up toward the sky. Little bend in the knees, more forward folding, reaching the arms a wee bit higher to the sky. Finish up. Release your arms. Let them hang heavy toward the earth. Roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time. Chin is tucked to your chest until you get back up to standing. Then remove your chin from your chest. Think big windmill arms. You can think that way, or think backstroke. Roll one arm to the back, then the other. Think doing the backstroke. That's what I better envision. So the arms are working kind of independently, but you're doing a backstroke. Breathe, get into your shoulders. How does it feel? Maybe it doesn't feel so great, so you take smaller circles with the elbows bent. Just move. I want to get those big muscles moving to wake us up. Breathe. Backstroke. Breathe. Take the circles in the other direction. Circle them forward. Nice big windmill arms. Breathe. And another cross-body movement to do. I'll tell you about it first. We're going to interlace our fingers. Think of the infinity sign, like a number 8 on its side. Let's do that now. Interlace your fingers. Big infinity sign, number 8 on its side. With your hands, with your arms. Breathe. Cross your body. Make that 8 really big. Make both circles of the 8 nice and big. Nice and big. As big as is right for you. Breathe. And then, when you're ready, are you kind of getting into the rhythm of it? Kind of feels good, doesn't it? Nice big circles, nice big infinity sign. Finish up. Arms down by your sides. Whew, heart's going, isn't it? Take a big breath in. And a big sighing breath out, let it go. Big coat swing. Arms are down by your sides, shoulders over your hips. When you're ready, let's start to sway from left to right, twist from left to right, letting your arms be heavy here. Twist and look over your shoulder. Breathe. Arms are heavy, shoulders are relaxed. Maybe deepen your twist a little bit. Maybe increase the stance of your legs a little bit by spreading them a little farther to feel more secure. Look over one shoulder than the other, or challenge your balance by closing your eyes. Breathe. This is our little warm-up. Maybe this is all you can squeeze in today after this next pose. Got to stay for the next pose. It's a favorite of so many of us. All right, let's finish up. Slow the arms down. Come back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. A favorite is ragdoll pose. All right, those I Dream a Genie arms, hands to opposite elbows. Lengthen up to the crown of your head. Toe heel your feet so they're about hip width distance apart. Hinge forward. Breathe. Let the crown of your head come toward the earth. Little bend in your knees feels awesome. Decompress your low back. Crown of the head hanging heavy to the earth. Look back to your knees or up towards your navel. Start to sway from side to side. Almost remember that infinity sign we did with our arms and our hands? Kind of do them with your elbows here, swaying from side to side. Let your gaze go back towards your elbows or towards your knees or your belly button. Sway here. Feel what you feel in your low back. The decompression feels awesome. And slowly, let's finish up. Bring your arms back to the midline. Release your fingertips to the earth. Bend your knees and come down for child's pose. All right, great way to get out of your head. All right, you can take your block. Knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back towards your heels, head down toward the block. Arms can be down by your sides, palms face up. Let all of your thoughts go. Get out of your head. Just let your body move. And just focus on your breath. The alternative to this pose, well, there's an option here too. You could remove the block and bring your forehead down. Or you could take a wide-legged child's pose. Just choices. Spread the knees wide, big toes touch, hips back to the heels. Head can come down to the block. This time the arms reach high to the top of your mat. If you don't want to use the block under your forehead, you could use the block underneath your hands and place your forehead down on your mat. Don't want to use the block at all, you can come completely down to your mat. Forehead and hands are on the mat. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you breathe out, send your tailbone more back toward the back of the room. Reach your fingers more to the top of your mat. Sigh it out as you exhale. Make it audible. Be at peace. Let the outside world go. Get out of your head. Don't think thoughts. Just move and enjoy. Close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose if that feels good for you. This will further allow you to focus only on your breath. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. If your teeth are touching, unclench your jaws and just soften in the face. Turn your head a little bit from left to right to massage your forehead into the mat. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Come back to your child's pose, the pose you're in now, anytime you want in your practice. Maybe stay here longer. I'm going to still my head, push my hands. I'm in an extended child's pose, so I'm going to push my hands into the mat a little bit more, sending my tailbone more to the back of the room. One last big cycle of breath here. And then if you'd like to join me, I'm going to press on up. Come on out of your child's pose and let's go into a puppy pose. So keep your knees, maybe if you're in a classic child's pose with the knees together, maybe spread them a little bit. If you're in your wide-legged child's pose, you can keep them there. Maybe you'll have to bring them in a little bit. We'll see. But this time, bring your forearms down to your mat. Press your hands into the mat and your shoulders are now over your elbows. Adjust your legs so you can send your tailbone high to the sky. So your tailbone's going up, up, up to the sky. Think of, when puppies are happy, they put their forearms down and they wag their tails. So kind of move your bottom a little bit from side to side. I'm going to slide my forearms a little more forward. Just create some space there and move your hips a little bit from side to side. Let your head hang down. And then maybe work your chest toward the earth. Now, how are you going to do that? You could send your hips back a little bit, slide your arms more forward, bringing your elbows forward of your shoulders, and sink your chest on down as best you can to the earth. But your bottom is still lifted. You adjust your legs so it's doable and comfortable. And take your puppy pose. Move your hips a little bit from side to side. And then let's finish. That's kind of intense. It kind of feels like when you do your cat-cow. Slide your shoulders, or your hands back so your shoulders are over your wrists. That was your puppy pose. How did you like it? Let's take a forearm stretch here. So come back to your neutral tabletop. And a neutral tabletop is knees under hips, shoulders over wrists. I'm going to now take my hands for my forearm stretch and turn my hands so my fingers are pointing back toward my knees. My forearms are shining forward. Like you did in your puppy pose, moving your bottom from side to side, do the same thing here. So feel this stretch in your forearms. So move about so you can feel the stretch in the forearms. Maybe move your bottom more back towards your heels, or maybe move it a little bit from side to side. Feel that intense stretch in the forearm. forearms. Now maybe you're pressing your entire palm with your fingers spread wide into your mat. Or maybe you send your hips back a little farther and you come on up onto the fingers a little bit and intensify the stretch there. You do what feels good in your forearms. It's an intense stretch, isn't it? I hope you like it. All right, so that's your forearm stretch. Let's finish up here. Bring your hands back to a natural position with your fingers pointing forward. Lift your hands up off of your mat. Move your fingers a little bit. Circle your wrists. Kind of get that tingly feeling away now. And let's do toes pose. All right, so toes pose strengthens your foundation. What you want to do is grab your 2 blocks if you have them. You don't have to have them. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Blocks by your side. And you can sit back here. Now, another way you could do this is sit back on your block if that feels better. I'm going to sit directly on my heels because I'm going to flow toes pose to ankle pose, the complementary poses to really get the ankles and the feet awake and moving. The blocks help bring the ground up to you. Shoulders back, relax. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Maybe you do this with your eyes closed or open. It's your call. If it hurts, this hurts some people, back out of it and hinge forward a little bit. You know, this is a pose that's not real comfortable to begin with, but if it gives you pain, back out of it. All right, so now I'm going to flow to the ankle pose. So all I'm going to do for that is bring the ankles, the tops of the feet, onto the mat, and we're going to bring the blocks back by our hips and push into the blocks, lifting the knees on up. As you do this, you're stretching out your ankles in the opposite direction. All right, take it back as far as is doable and is comfortable and is accessible for you. Knees are lifted, but they're together. All right, breathe. And then when you're done with your ankle pose, come back to your toes pose and just kind of back and forth. You can use the blocks for stability to bring the ground up, or no blocks at all. It can be nice to challenge your balance. Really try to relax in your feet. It lets you take the stretch deeper. It makes you realize when you hold on to tension, how your body, is tight. Soften in the feet, let it go. And you flow through toes pose and ankle pose to the depth and at the speed which feels right to you. And you could always use your hands as a kickstand. Nobody's judging you. Be kind to you and let it go. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. Don't give up. Don't give up. The most certain way to succeed is to try just one more time. And that was said by Einstein. So pretty good stuff, right? All right, toes pose, ankle pose, soften in the shoulders. Breathe. No rush, no hurry. You can do this. Your foundation is strong. Now let's finish up in that toes pose, ankle pose. Come to a neutral tabletop. Remember this? Been here before. In your neutral tabletop, lift your feet up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle your ankles in both directions, and then tap the tops of your feet out on your mat like a drum roll. All right, nice job. Let's finish up. Let's do cat-cow pose. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Push hard into the earth with not only your hands, but the tops of your feet as well. As you take an inhale, flip this just the opposite, cow pose. Crown of the head and tailbone lifts. Kind of reminds you of that puppy pose, doesn't it? Exhale, cat. Hollow out your belly. Inhale, cow. Crown of the head and tailbone lift. Do a few of these to your pace of breath. All right, time for a cross-body movement. Let's do cat pulling its tail. So come to a neutral tabletop. Lift your right leg up, 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 knee to about hip height or higher. Bring your heel closer to your bottom. Right leg is lifted, and you're kind of like kicking yourself in the bottom. Push hard into your right hand. Left hand reaches around and grabs your foot. Now kick into your left hand. You can feel it in your collarbone, can't you? So I'm looking at my right thumb down on my mat. Then I'm going to take my gaze to the left side of my mat. Then I'm going to take my gaze to the left side of the room. Then maybe even to bring my gaze up over my left shoulder. Keep kicking hard into that hand. Cat pulling its tail. Cross-body movement, good for your brain. Release the knee, release the hand. Take a cycle of cat-cow to feel good and even out what you got. All right, to even it out, we got another side to do. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Lift your left leg up, nice and high, knee to hip height. Maybe lift it even higher, heel toward your bottom. Push hard into the earth with your right foot and your hands. Now lift your right hand up. Maybe you can't quite reach the foot. Act as if you can. Reach, imagine it, reach. Gaze over your right shoulder or capture the foot and kick into your hand. Try to look over the right shoulder, pull. And if you can't get there, you're getting there. Just don't give up, just try. And just visualize it, breathe. Pull the tail and then finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. A cycle of cat-cow to get back to the midline of your body. Cat, cow, neutral tabletop, lengthen. Bird dog pose. To do your bird dog pose, that right leg again, lift it up. Lift it up, bring your knee to about hip height. Dial your right hip down so your hips are equidistant to your mat. Right leg extends long, drive through your heel. Push into the earth. Left arm reaches forward, fingers spread wide, thumb up to the sky. If that balancing is a little uncomfortable, there's always ways around everything. Place a block at the top of your mat and hold on to it. Maybe your fingers are reaching long, press hard into the earth. It helps you maintain your balance. Cross-body movement here as well. Bend your right knee and your left elbow and have the elbow touch the knee under the midline of your body. And then reach and stretch it out. You can do this a couple times if you like, or just continue with the deep, long stretch and reach. Finish up, hand comes down, knee comes down, other side. Lift your left leg up, knee to hip height. Left leg extends long, draw the toes toward the shin so it's your heel driving to the back wall. Dial your left hip down, push into the earth. Add in your right hand if you like. Reach it, stretch it, breathe. You could move the block. Hand under the block if you like, or hand on the block if you like. Reach, stretch, try that cross-body movement. Elbow to knee, reach and stretch. Elbow to knee, reach and stretch. Elbow to knee, stretch and reach. You got it. Reach a little bit more and then finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. That's your bird dog pose. Let's do a neutral tabletop. Let's do a cat-cow, even out, lengthen out. Oh, your spine is flexible. Life is good. You're succeeding because you're doing. All right, press into the earth. Let's do fire hydrant and donkey kick. Lift your right leg to the side of the room, maybe 3 times, like a dog on a fire hydrant. Then bring the leg back and lift the foot up to the sky, maybe 3 times. Breathe. Go back to maybe 3 lifts in your fire hydrant. Knee can come high or not so high. Go back to your donkey kick, maybe 3 times, kicking up toward the sky. Again, back to fire hydrant, and then back to donkey kick. Let's finish and do the other leg. All right, knees meet on your mat. Left leg lifts to the side, maybe 3 times. Doesn't have to go super high, you decide. Then bring it back to a donkey kick. Knee is still bent, foot's going up to the sky. Fire hydrant, a couple of times. Donkey kick, a couple of times. So you're strengthening your low back. Donkey kick, fire hydrant, you alternate from one to the other. And that's it. Let's finish up in that. Knees come down, wide-legged child's pose, knees spread wide, big toes touch, hips back to your heels. Reach your arms to the top of your mat. Sink your forehead down, breathe. In and out. All right, press on up. Maybe grab a drink of water, and let's get ready to do a plank. All right, so every day, just about every day, we do a plank. We set a timer for 1 minute. And in that 1 minute timer, you can totally disregard it, throw it out the window, or use it as a little self-assessment tool. Maybe today you do a 5-second plank. Maybe tomorrow it's a 7-second plank. Maybe the next day it's a 2-second plank, but that's no big deal. Stick with it, because maybe the next day it's 10 seconds. But stick with it. We're going to set a 1 minute timer. Decide what kind of plank you want to do. And you can do it. Why would you want to think otherwise? You can do it. Here's an example. Walk your hands forward from your neutral tabletop. Spread your knees wide like you did in your earlier child's pose. Walk your hands more forward, shoulders over your wrists, and hold here. You can take a little frog plank. It's awesome. Do what you can with what you got. Maybe drop to your forearms, parallel to each other, hands spread wide. Same thing, hinge the weight forward so your shoulders are over your elbows, and hold here. Maybe send your legs a little bit longer, but still stay on your knees. Maybe tuck your toes towards your shins and press on up and take a dolphin plank. That's a fine option too. So many variations. I'm gonna take a high plank. Get into position and let's begin our plank pose right now. Timer goes, and here we go. So I'm gonna press into the earth. My shoulders are over my wrists, my feet are hip width distance apart. We're 5 seconds in. You did it for 5 seconds. Maybe that's all you do today, and that is fine, because you are doing. I'm gonna press the earth away. I'm gonna imagine my spine lengthening. Take the variation that you like. We are over 15 seconds in. And in your plank pose, take the breaks that you want. You could drop to your knees. You could send your hips high to the sky and come into a downward facing dog. We're halfway there. Push into the earth. Don't let things sag at this point. Push harder into the earth. Lengthen through the crown of your head and hold on. We've got less than 20 seconds to go. You can do it. My fingers are spread wide. I'm pressing a little more weight into my thumb and my pointer finger. Breathe. 10 seconds to go. And you can do it. Hold on. High plank or low plank, whatever you got. 4, 3, 2, 1. Guess what? We're done. Come down to your knees, maybe grab a drink. Place your block at the bottom of your mat. How are you doing? Kind of gets your heart going, doesn't it? If you did 2 seconds, that's good. It's all good. Don't judge yourself. You got to start somewhere, right? Remember, the secret of getting ahead, it's just getting started. All right, Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. With or without the block, you decide. Block can be at the bottom of your mat. Pinky edge side of your feet can rest on it, and the soles of your feet can touch, and your knees can be open wide. You can ditch the block and have your feet on the ground. Come all the way back to reclined. Maybe hike your heels up closer to your groin. Maybe you stay right here and take that reclined goddess. You know that one? It's when you bring your arms down to your mat and think of your arms as a goalpost, backs of your hands onto your mat. You could stay right here. Nobody's judging you. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? I'm gonna take my fingers, place them lightly at my temples. I'm gonna breathe in and out of my mouth to let some heat go. As I exhale, because remember when you exhale, you're letting all the air out, your navel goes back to your spine, so you're hollowing out your belly. On the exhale, I'm gonna peel my shoulders up, but keeping my elbows open wide. I'm gonna let my chin be the guide up to the sky. Then I'm gonna come down as I inhale. Exhale up, inhale down. Lift and lower. And if you don't like the block underneath your feet, remove it. Lift and lower, breathe. Lift and lower, and breathe. How are you doing with it? When you're ready, let's finish up. Come on down, elbows down, remove the block, just kick it aside. Let's do bicycle pose. Now, lots of ways to do it. You can bend your knees, knees over your hips, shins parallel to the sky. You can keep your shoulders down and ride a recumbent bike, driving one heel to the bottom of your mat, then the other. You could keep your feet solid on the ground. Soles of the feet are down, and you'd peel your shoulders up. Cross-body movement. Left elbow toward the right knee, then right elbow toward the left knee. Take a little twist. You can put it all together and have elbow reach toward opposite knee while the other leg extends long. You do what you like. Another thing you can do is straighten your legs and scissor kick them, working opposite knee toward opposite elbow. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hello, Christy. Hello, Tammy, Lori, Stan, Liz, Esther, Lynn, Karen, Margarita, Marietta, Tina, Chris, Steve, Bruce. You guys got it. Oh, finish. Bring the soles of your feet down. Send your legs long. Send your arms high overhead, stick pose. Point, stretch, breathe through the fingertips, through the toes. You got it. Boat pose time. Let's press on up to a seated position and find your strap. Once you have your strap, bring it underneath your feet. Bring it underneath the center of your foot. Boat pose with the strap today, or if you prefer to do it another way, go for it. It's just fun to shake it up and try something different. Hold on to your strap. Lean on back like you're in a beach chair. Chest is lifted. Breathe. Back is flat. You don't want those rounded shoulders. Lift. All right, here we go. You're leaning back in a beach chair. Maybe lift the heels on up and come into your boat pose. As you hug your elbows in and hold on tightly to that strap, drive your heels to the front of the room, lift out of your chest, and put a smile on your face. And it makes a difference. Try it. Nobody's looking. Put a smile on your face. Fake it till you make it, right? Breathe. You do feel better. When you engage the muscles of your face, you make your brain feel better. So do smile. Breathe. Lean on back and hold here. You've got it in your boat pose. Tomorrow we'll do it without a strap, and we'll see how that goes. Or maybe you decide, I'm going to use a strap tomorrow. Totally fine. Just show up. All right, let's finish. Heels come down. Take a nice forward fold, walking your hands down your straps. Look towards your knees. Just stretch it out. Little bend in your knees might make it more accessible. Finish up. Shoulders over your hips. You're moving. It's all good. Remove your strap. Let's do a lunge. Take your 2 blocks, just like we did in our toes pose. You have them at a high height. Bring your right foot forward, knee over ankle. Use the blocks to press into and send your left leg long. If you don't have the blocks, you can bring your hands down and stretch that left leg long. Top of the left foot on the mat, get your ankle underneath the knee. You can use the blocks, press on up, shoulders, a little more over the hips. Maybe that is as far as you want to go today. Maybe bring the shoulders back more over the hips. You can put your hands on your hips if that feels more stable. You could take an option to raise your arms up to the sky and maybe a baby back bend too. But you decide. Hands back to a prayer center position. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe hands come back to the blocks and we'll surf it out. Straighten the right leg and send your bottom back towards your left heel. Walk the knee forward and back. So you're bending the knee. You can use the blocks for stability by your side. Back and forth. Maybe bring your bottom down to your left heel and walk it on forward. And you can take this as far as you like. Reach the knee forward of the ankle, totally fine. If you want to get more depth here, you could reach your arms forward. You can ditch the blocks and find your core balance here as you go back and forth toward the heel and toward the front. You decide how intensely you want to take it today, and just respect your body. I'm going to finish shoulders over hips, knees meet on the mat, and do the other side. So left foot forward, knee over ankle, press into the blocks, sending the right leg long. Maybe right there is where you want to stay. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe close your eyes and breathe. Nice big stretch in your right hip flexors. Breathe. Maybe press into your fingertips on your block. Maybe come a little higher. Maybe think of bringing the shoulders a little more over the hips. Maybe hands to prayer center. Maybe keeping the eyes closed as you challenge your balance. Maybe, all these are maybe, because you decide. Maybe lift the hands up to the sky. Take a baby back bend if you like. Hands back to prayer center. Hang out here. Feel the depth of the stretch in that right hip. Start to surf. Hands back to the blocks, straightening the left leg. And then bringing the left knee maybe a little forward of the ankle. Taking it to your pace. Why is it that we always think if we're not doing something at 110%, we're a failure? We don't give ourselves credit for number 1, showing up. We don't give ourselves credit for number 2, just the trying, just a little bit of movement. Give yourself credit. If someone were to tell you, I'll increase your flexibility by 10%, that's pretty good, right? All you gotta do is 10% of the poses. Pretty good. Take that bet. You don't have to do 110% all the time. to reap great benefits. Breathe. All right, so your variation of your little surfing, let's finish up with that. Have the knees meet on the mat. Let's do some balancing now. Balancing's so important. Place your hands on your mat. You're in a neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Press into your hands as you straighten your legs and come into an inverted V shape. This is called a downward facing dog. Heels are slightly lifted. Hands are spread wide and are shoulder width distance apart. Pedal your heels, one toward the earth and the other. Oh, that feels good. In the calves, the Achilles tendon, and in the ankles. Maybe come high onto the ball of the foot and walk the dog, as we say. Still your feet, sending your heels toward the earth. Look back to your knees or your belly button. Push hard into your hands and shake your head. Loosen up your neck, and let's finish. Walk your feet up to meet your hands, or walk your hands back to meet your feet. With your chin tucked to your chest, slowly roll your vertebra on up, one at a time, until you come up to standing. Once you're standing, bring your chin away from your chest. Let's do tree pose. Hands to prayer center. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Give your toes a wiggle. Place the weight into your left foot. Place the weight out of your right foot. Turn the right knee toward the side of the room and bring the sole of the foot inside the left foundational leg. Maybe slide the foot on up a little bit higher, or higher still, up into the inner left thigh. Only place, don't put it, is on your knee. Don't let your knee have that pressure from the side. Drive the outside of the right knee to the back of the room. Lengthen up. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet and hold here. You could have a chair here for balance. I'm going to grow my branches, sending my arms high, swaying them left and right. I'm focusing, very focused, looking where the ceiling and the wall meet. No distractions. Moving the arms across the midline of the body. Breathe. Finish up. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the right knee to the front of the room. Right foot meets left. We have another opportunity to succeed, another opportunity to excel. Root into both feet. Hands to prayer center. Root into the right foot, weight out of the left, open up the knee to the side of the room. You can stay right here on the ball of the foot if that feels good. Bring the foot up a wee bit. Maybe the chair is your best friend right now for balance. Or slip the leg on up higher into the inner right thigh. Push the foot into the leg and the leg back into the foot. Left knee is toward the back of the room. Lengthen up through your hips, through your shoulders, through your neck, through the crown of your head as you look to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Staying right here is great. Maybe grow your branches and sway them. Sway them. Remember picking the apples? You got your balance. You got it going on. You're just further challenging yourself, crossing the midline of the body while standing on one leg. Finish up. If you fall out, no big deal. Get back in before you get out, because you don't want to end on a sour note. You got to keep trying, right? I got to keep trying. All right, press the foot into the leg and leg into the foot as you come back to your knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets. Come back to your Samastitihi pose. Take a big breath in. Eyes are closed. Hands at heart center. Big breath out. Don't end on a failure. End on a positive note. You fall out, you get right back in. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You will look taller with this pose. Really feels good. Bring your arms down by your sides and just stand here for a moment. Observe where your palms are. They're kind of facing in toward your hips a little bit, right? You don't want them facing toward the back of the room, because think of the rounding in the shoulders if that's the case. You want your hands, palms, facing toward your hips. Shoulders are back and down. We did lots of shoulder shrugs. Do it again. Up toward the ear, to the back of the room, and then down. Lengthen up. Let's do You Will Look Taller. You can do this with your eyes closed to challenge your balance a little bit, or have them open. Bring your body into a big letter Y shape. Legs are together, arms are spread wide like the letter Y. For the words, you will look taller. We'll do the first letter of each word. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Big letter Y. Let's take it to a big letter W. Bend your elbows, let the elbows come down toward the earth. Palms are facing forward. Squeeze your shoulders together. There's the letter W for will. Now, look. We're going to go look, right? Elbows in, like a forward L and a backward L. Breathe. Squeeze your shoulders towards your waist. Squeeze your elbows towards your waist. That's the L. Let's tee out the arms for the word taller. Pulse the backs of the hands to the back of the room for one big T. All right, you will look taller. You know how to do this now. Big letter Y. Big letter W. All the while squeezing tightly in the back, squeezing the backs of the hands to the back of the room. Two big L's, one big T with a pulse. I'm going to try it with my eyes closed. Maybe you want to do the same thing to challenge your balance. Big letter Y. Big letter W. You will. Two L's for look, one big T for taller, and pulse the hands. Bring your arms back down by your sides, shoulders are over your hips. Just stand here for a moment with the eyes closed and feel what you feel. Don't you feel taller? Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Spread your legs wide. Legs are spread wide. Horse pose. All right, for your horse pose, heels come in a wee bit, toes point out. Bend in your knees, shoulders over your hips. Sink on down. Sink on down. Maybe you don't take it very far. You can bring your hands to a prayer center position. So your legs are spread wide like horse. You can pop on up to the balls of your feet. You can alternate heel touchdowns. Breathe. Maybe you keep the feet flat on the ground and you just rest here. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, let's begin by bringing the left hand to the right knee. Come back to center, palms touch, right hand, left knee. Back to center, nice cross body movement. All right, knee, touch our hand, touches the opposite knee. Maybe encourage it open a little bit more. Breathe, back to prayer center before you do the other side. All right, hands at prayer center. Maybe take the elbow to the opposite knee now. Breathe, cross body movements. You got it. Keeping the hands at prayer center, bringing the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Breathe. And when you're finished, let's finish. Hands back to prayer center, shoulders over the hips. Bring them back even more. Straighten up through the legs. 5-pointed star. Arms go wide. Wiggle your hips. Palms together to touch overhead. One leg comes to meet the other. Let's do warrior 3. Bring your hands down to a prayer center position. Hands can be at prayer center or hands can be on your hips. You decide what you like. Take a big step out with your right foot. Hinge forward, putting the weight in the right leg, lifting the left leg up. Left leg can lift a little bit, or it can lift a lot. Bring the leg to about hip height. Think of creating the letter T with your body. Maybe hands are at your hips, or you remove the hands. Reach your arms long to the top of the room. Breathe. Letter T here. Hands back to prayer center or back to your hips. Left foot meets right. Other side, right leg steps back, or left leg steps forward. Same difference. We're going to do this big letter T, warrior 3, on the opposite leg. Hinge the weight forward. Find what's right for you. Maybe the leg lifts a little bit. Maybe it lifts a lot. Maybe hands stay at prayer center, or stay at the hips, or you reach far to the top of your room. Breathe, stretch, capital letter T. Finish. Hands back to prayer center or your hips. Right foot meets left on your mat. That's your warrior 3. The big thing is you didn't give up. You haven't come this far to quit. We're almost done. Hinge forward. Breathe. Decompress your low back. Look to your toes, your ankles, your knees, your navel. Breathe. Walk your hands forward. Come down to your knees. Maybe take a little bear plank as you get here. Hover the knees above the earth, shoulders over your wrists. Just hover here for a second or not. Maybe come down to your knees. Come down to your knees. Let's come onto our bellies. We're going to do a Superman pose. So send your legs long on your mat, arms high overhead. So you're resting on your belly. Legs spread a little bit so the tops of your feet are toward the edges of your mat. Chin is down, forehead is down on your mat. Arms are reaching long to the top of your mat. Maybe lift one leg and then start by lifting the other leg. One leg up, then down, then the other leg up and down. Maybe both legs lift. Breathe. Reach through your fingertips. Maybe you add in the arms, having them lift. Gaze down your nose, look up and fly like Superman. Breathe. Reach through your fingers. You got it. Breathe. Your arms, sweep them down. Come into an airplane pose, or also called locust pose. Palms face down. Fingers are reaching toward the opposite ends of your mat. Chest is lifted, gaze is down. Breathe and fly like an airplane. Breathe. Interlace your fingers now behind your low back. Work your fingers away from your low back. Gaze down your nose. Fingers work up the back wall. And then finish. Come on down. Bend your elbows, hands under your collarbones. Press on up to a seal pose. Straighten up here, soften in your glutes, breathe. Come on up to standing on your knees. Once you're standing on your knees, place the block between your heels. So the block is between your heels, camel pose. We do camel often. We'll do a full camel tomorrow. Today we're gonna do a little camel twist. All right, shoulders are over your hips. Squeeze that ankle squeeze that block between your ankles. Hands to your low back. Send your hips forward, look up. Now reach your right hand towards your right heel, twist to the right. Place your hand on your heel or close to it and twist. Let the opposite arm, the left arm, go up to the sky. Breathe. Bring your hand back down. Bring your right hand back up. Come to standing over your knees. Other side. Turn to the left. Bring your left hand down to your heel. Right arm up to the sky. Maybe look over your left shoulder. Hand that was lifted comes down. Left arm comes back. Send your hips forward. Breathe, look up. Let's try it again. Shoulders over hips. Right hand finds the right heel. If you can't quite get there, just find the block. Lift the other arm up and look over your right shoulder. Come on back up, shoulders over hips. Both arms go up. Left arm comes down, finds the block or your heel. Reach up through your right hand and look to your left. Keeping your hips forward. Finish. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. You did it. All right, nice job. Come down, have a seat. Bring your towel and your eye shade up towards your shoulders. We're almost there. You've done great. You really have. Breathe. Don't give up. You haven't come this far. Just quit. Legs are long, seated forward fold. Toes up high to the sky, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Reach your arms parallel to each other toward the front of the room. Look forward, look forward. Look to your knees now. Hold on to your feet, your ankles, whatever, and just fold forward. Big breath in, big breath out. Lift on up, shoulders over your hips. Find your two blocks. Spread your legs wide. Spread them wide. Bring the blocks in between your legs. Maybe spread your legs even wider. Use a hand to kind of open them up a little bit. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. All right, now don't stop in your mind thinking, oh, can't do it. Don't think that. Think, yes, I can. I can do it. The secret of getting ahead is just doing, getting started and doing. All right, little bend in your knees might feel good. Blocks at whatever height you like. Lots of ways to take them. Maybe you bring your hands to them, your forearms to them, or progress to bringing your forehead to them. Scoot the blocks out a little bit. Feel the big stretch in the groin. Maybe lower the blocks. You decide what gives you the best stretch that you're after today. Soften your shoulders and don't say I can't. Say yes, I can. Breathe. Play with the height of the blocks. Lots of ways to do it. Breathe. A couple breaths. You can do it. Yes, you can. In fact, we'll do it longer in a restorative practice. A restorative practice, we have a lot of similar poses, but we just do them for longer holds. So check us out on Thursdays and Sundays, because you can do it. All right, shoulders come up over your hips. You did your wide-legged forward fold. Come on down to your back. Come on down to your back. Take it nice and slowly, because your core is strong. Bend your knees. Let's do bridge pose. Arms down by your sides. Soles of the feet are on your mat. Press into your hips. Lift your bottom on up, hips are lifted. You're pushing into your feet. Breathe. Stretch out the front of your hips. Feels good. Kind of the same sensation you had in that lunge. Roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Bring your tailbone down last. Lift your right leg up. The outside of the right ankle, bring it on top of your left thigh. So figure four, a reclined pigeon here. Hands can press the inner right thigh open. Stay right here. Maybe lift your left leg up. Ooh, because that left leg is now the driver. Think of it as kind of like, I don't know, like a gear shift in a car. Would that be a good analogy? All right, bring the left knee closer to the chest. Outside of the right knee, drive it further away. Stay right here. Let it feel good. No intensity. Just, don't push it too hard. You're just Enjoying this pose. Bring the left foot down, bring the right foot down, other side. So you can do this with no props at all. Bring the left foot up, outside of the left ankle, rests on top of the right thigh, so your legs are like a figure 4. Drive the outside of the left knee toward the bottom of your mat. Lift the right leg up, 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 however high seems right for you. Hug that right knee in, closer, closer, closer to your chest. Just bring it on in. You don't have to touch it. Just bring it on in while driving the outside of the left knee away. There you go. We'll do it some other ways this week too. Bring your right foot down, bring your left foot down. When you're ready, press your hips on up to the sky, bridge pose. Press your hands down to your mat. Roll your spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. You got it? Send your left leg along on your mat. Left leg is long on your mat. The heel is driving toward the bottom of the mat. Your toes are going up towards your shin. Feel the length in your left hip. Left leg is long and straight. Bend your right knee. It's already bent. Bend it higher. Bring it up towards your chest. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, and capture underneath your right knee. You could use your towel here if your arms are a little short, like mine. It's kind of hard to reach. Take the towel, place it under the knee, and hug the right knee in. Hug it in nice and tightly. You're hugging the knee in nice and tightly. Let's take a supine twist. Left hand holds on to the right knee. Let it cross the midline of your body. Another cross body movement. Roll onto your left hip. Right hip is stacked on top of the left. Tee out your right arm, keeping your right shoulder down, and then look to the right. Maybe you're looking up toward the ceiling on the right side of your room, or maybe you look even farther toward your right hand. Wring it out, twist it out in your supine twist. Right hip comes down, gaze goes back up to the sky. You got another opportunity here to hug the right knee in. Circle the ankle to the right, circle the ankle to the left, send the right leg long. Right heel drives to the bottom of the mat. Find length in that big, long right leg of yours. Bend your left knee. Hug the left knee in, hug the left knee in with interlaced fingers underneath the left knee. Shoulders are down. Use your towel if you want. Hug it in, squeeze it in, good and tight. Hips are strong. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline. Roll onto your right hip. Encourage the left knee down toward the earth. Keep your left shoulder down. It helps to straighten out your left arm. And then look toward the left as far as feels right. Finish up by sending your gaze back up to the sky. Left hip comes down. Interlaced fingers, hug under your left knee. Hug and squeeze it in. Left leg goes long on your mat. Hug both knees in. Drag the feet up. Drag the knees up. Left knee toward left armpit. Right knee toward right armpit. Rock a little bit from side to side. Low back massage. The highlight of this pose is the low back massage. Come back to the midline of your body. Maybe hands capture inside your calves or under your heels. Send one leg high to the sky, happy baby. Then the other leg high to the sky, happy baby. Back and forth, back and forth. All right, send your left leg long, send your right leg long, send your left leg high, circle the ankle to the right, circle the ankle to the left. And then bring the left leg down. Oh my goodness, we are done. We come to the best part of the practice. Final Shavasana. Spread your heels toward the edges of your mat. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel. You might even have a blanket in every practice for your final Shavasana, where you come to rest. Arms down by your sides. Palms face up, eyes closed. Shoulders soft. Your body completely surrenders to the ground. Let your pinky toes fall toward the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften in the jaws, soften in your forehead and your cheeks. Teeth aren't touching, your jaws are unclenched. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. No thoughts, just focus on your breath, deepening each inhale and exhale. Soften your shoulders a little bit more. No stress, no tension there. Soften the area between your eyebrows a little bit more. No tension, no stress there. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Stay here longer if you like. If it's time for you to finish your hour, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move the motion up into your wrists and your ankles. Spread your fingers and toes wide and then squeeze and scrunch them in, holding tight. Feel the tension go up your forearms, up into your shoulders, and then release, let it all go. On an inhale, reach high overhead and stretch it out. Point your toes to the bottom of the room, reach your fingers to the top, stretch, find length. As you take your next exhale, bend your knees and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow for your head. Eyes remain closed, top shoulders soft. Breathe. As you're ready, eyes can be closed or open. Press on up or no hands at all. Press on up and come to a comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you today. As you sit up, bring your shoulders over your hips, bring your hands to prayer center. Eyes are still closed. Just appreciate what you did for a moment. Kind of give yourself a pat on the back and just realize, hey, I did it. I showed up. That's a big part of it. And I actually did it. I did it. I succeeded. I did it. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen up and a deep breath out as you let it go. Gently blink your eyes open. Congratulations. All right, we took a stress number in the beginning. What was it and what is it now? Just how do you feel? We worked everything from the shoulders down to the ankles. We did some really good twists, some really good cross-body motion. Again, check out our group. It's a private group on Facebook. Ask and I'll let you in. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. And I posted a really, I think, very interesting article about cross-body movements and the effects on the brain and depression and happiness and, just how you feel. Also important, you move every single day. Your yoga is a great place to start. Tell your friends about our yoga. It's free for anybody and everybody. Just show up. You're doing it at home. Think of it as like how you habitually brush your teeth. Hope you do that. As you brush your teeth, just do your yoga because it makes a world of difference. It really does. All right, think about these things as you go on with your day. Think about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. You got a good start to your week. Keep it going. Love you. Bye. Hello. Hey, Bonnie, come here. There you go. Good girl. Stop by. It's snowing today. Lots of snow. So we're going to stay in and do more yoga. Right, guys? Bye. As we wrap up this last full week of joyous January, continue with your yoga. Just remember and think about how much joy it brings you and how much flexibility and mobility it brings you to your body. And you got to find the positive in everything. Like Einstein said, and this is a lovely thing, he said that you got to find the joy in everything. You either think everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle. And let's focus on everything is a miracle. Your progress, your ability to move, your ability to do your yoga. It's all a miracle. It's all a joyous miracle. Continue with it. Ask your friends to join our yoga. They can join us every day from the privacy of their own home. As you know, it is free for anybody and everybody, and I hope you're having fun with it, and I hope they will too. You can check out our website. It's www.316yoga.com if you'd like to support our broadcast. Have a great day. See you on your mats tomorrow, and find miracles in all that you do.